Good day, everyone. Now, let us assume that we want to simplify this problem. So, if we want to simplify this problem, what we are going to do is this. So, we have, um, we want to simplify open bracket 0.008, close the bracket, everything raised to the power of 1 over 3. So, what we are going to do is this equals to, now, what we have in the bracket is actually in decimal. So we are going to change it to fraction. That's the first thing. Whenever you have decimal like this, we are going to change it to fraction. So you are going to change 0.008, you're going to change it to fraction. Now, how do we change it? So we have open bracket. Now, we can see that the first significant figure is actually starting from this 8. So, and then we don't even have any number after it. So we just have something like this. So we have 8 all over. We have 8 all over. Then this decimal point, this point, these decimal points that we have here, we are going to use it to write 1. Then all the numbers after the decimal point, all these numbers after the decimal point, that is the 008, we are going to turn all of them, we are going to use all of them to write 0. So we are going to write how many zeros like that? We're going to write 3 zeros. So we have 1. So then we are going to close the bracket. Then we write the power, which is 1 over 3. So from here, what we are going to do is that 8, this 8. Now, I want you to remember that indices is all about breaking down. Indices is all about breaking down. So this 8 can actually be written as 2 raised to the power of 3. So the 8 can be written as 2 raised to the power of 3. Well, if you don't know how we got the 2 raised to the power of 3, I'm going to clean this back. Let me show you. So we have 8 like this. So if you have 2, you can use 2 to divide 8, so it's going to give us 4. You can use 2 to divide 4, it's going to give us 2. And we can use 2 to divide 2, it's going to give us 1. So that is how many, 2 in how many pieces? That's 1, 2 times 2 times 2. So in index form, it's going to give us 2 raised to the power of 3. So that is what we are saying. So 8 is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of what? 2 raised to the power of 3. So we are going to be doing now, we are going to be doing the same thing for 1,000. So we are going to have over. Then the 1,000 is 10 times 10 times 10, meaning 10 in 3 places. So we have 10 raised to the power of what? 3 also. Then we are going to open bracket and close it back. Then everything raised to the power of 1 over 3. Then the next thing we are going to do is that us to remember one of the laws of indices. So which is the law of multiplication of power. Sometimes some people can call it law of power raised to another power. Now let me give you, let me tell you about the law. So the law is like this. Let's say we have a raised to power n, open bracket, close bracket, raised to power n. Then this is simply a power inside and a power outside. Then what we have is a, the power will multiply each other, m times n. Remember, even bracket means times. So here, the power will multiply each other. That's the law of power raised to another power. And that is what we are going to be applying next here. So we are going to be applying it to both numerator and denominator because here we have fraction. We have fraction. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to have open brackets 2 raised to the power of what? 3 times 1 over 3, because the power outside will multiply the power inside. Remember, then divided by over, because we have denominator here. This one, what is inside is a fraction, that is 1. So we have 10 raised to the power of 3 times the power outside also, 1 over 3. Remember that the power is going to apply to everything inside the bracket. So I think that is all we have. And you can decide not to put the bracket anyway. So we have, don't forget, as equals to. Then the next thing is we're going to cancel. So from here, we know that 3 can actually cancel 3. Then we have 2 raised to the power of what? 1 left over 3 also can cancel 3 here. Then we have 10 raised to the power of 1. So this can actually give us what? That is 2 over what? 10. So this is going to give us 2 over 10, which is going to give us 2 over 10 is what? Well, we are dividing by 10, by power of 10. So since it is 1, 0, we are going to move this to the left-hand side once. And we are going to put points there. So we have 0.2. So that means our answer is 0.2. Now, well, this is mathematics. We can have another way of solving this problem. So now let's briefly look at another way of solving the problem. Let's say we have this 8 over 1,000. Everything raised to power what? 1 over 3. Sorry, initially we have the problem like this. So initially what we have is actually 0.008. So that 0.008, we are going to change it to fraction. Yeah. So we're going to have everything raised to power 1 over 3. Yeah. We're going to have 8 over 1,000. So once we have 8 over 1,000, everything raised to power 1 over 3. Then you're going to remember one of the laws of indices also, like I said earlier, that we have fractional power. This is actually a fractional power with the denominator of the fraction to be 3. So here, that means you're going to have cube roots, because the denominator of the fractional power will determine the root you are going to take. The root you are going to take. So meaning you're going to have a cube root like this. So we have cube root, and in cube root, you are going to write it to show that it's cube root. It is only in square root you are not going to write the 2. So here we have cube root of what is in the bracket, 8 over what? 1,000. Everything raised to the power of the numerator, which is 1, remember. But you can write it and you may not write it. The thing is, when you write 1, it does not mean anything. If you don't still write it, it does not still mean anything, because anything raised to the power of 1 is actually that thing. So now the cube root of 8, that's the question we're going to ask ourselves. What does the cube root of 8 mean? It means that what is the number, a number that will multiply itself 3 times to give us 8. That is going to multiply itself 3 times to give us 8. And if you cannot, think about this, just use the the table method to divide 8. Then you are going to get something like that. Also, what is the number that will multiply it? 1,000. It is actually 10. 10 times 10, 100. 100 times 10, 1,000. So it is 10 actually give us 0.2. Thank you.